Hi there, my name's Simone Bruder. I'm the founder of Creative Social Marketing here in Charleston. So a couple of months ago, I was asked to do a video about branding for a Low Country Local First Leadership Academy, I think it was. And that video ended up being a little over 9 minutes, so I thought I would try again and try to give you the short version for any business owner out there who kind of has some questions about branding, what it is, what to do with it, why it matters. So here we are. So the first thing that people usually think of when they're thinking of their company's branding is a logo or maybe some colors. But actually, all of the assets that you use to help make your brand identity, there's so many more than that, right? And it's important to think about them all at the beginning of your business, because branding becomes what kind of sets you apart from your competitors. All the assets that you use make up that visual representation of why people choose you over your competitors. So some examples of what those assets might be: definitely your logo, but not only your logo. Also the fonts that you're using, your color palette, your packaging design if you're selling a product, your marketing materials, your business cards, typography, the kind of imagery that you use and the visual style that you're using, and also what your website is designed like. So successful branding means that you've thought about each single piece and you've thought it through, right? And you've created them intentionally based on your brand. So that kind of brings us to the next question, which is, what is a brand? And again, not your logo, which many people will argue that it is, but actually so much more. So your brand is how a person feels about your product, service, and experience. Bezos from Amazon says it's what people say about you when you're not in the room, which I think is a good way to kind of sum it up, because it really is. It comes down to your reputation. It's about the feelings and the perceptions that your business evokes, and how you tell your story, and the way that, and how you tell it, and all of those things kind of contribute to that. So having a well thought out, intentional brand ensures that what you're saying through any kind of touch point in your business is consistent, right? Because again, everything that you do in your business, from how you speak to your customers, how you treat your employees, how you answer the phone, the packaging that you use, the experience someone has when they open the package, if it's something that's delivered, that's why those YouTube unboxing videos are so popular. But all of those things, how you interact on social media, all of those things work together to make people feel a certain way. And this influences their perception of your company and then becomes your brand. So these branding assets that we're talking about, your logo, fonts, color palette, website design, that's all of those things is how you're communicating that visually. So, a good example is Nike, right? One of the most famous, successful brands in the world. They just have a swoosh. And they have been building their brand for so many years that when you see the swoosh, you're not only just thinking, just do it, their advertising tagline, but you're also thinking about athletes, right? And the hard work that athletes do to get to a top tier, the work they put in, and all of those things, when you're seeing that logo, is coming from the brand that they've built, right? When really they're a company that started with selling shoes. So that's just a good example of how all of these things can work to really take hold in a person's mind of who you are and what you do and what you sell. So when we kind of think about for our clients, what is their brand? How do we find this thing that makes them so different? We start with a list of questions, and they're pretty simple questions that, the questions start with their product or service. What is it that they're selling? What is someone feeling at the moment that they need them, right? That they need to have that product or service. What kind of headspace are they in? What are they, what are the customers expecting from you once they have that interaction with you? So, we think about some words to describe your business. Apple, for instance, so very creative, right? Techie, they're a little rebellious. That's part of their brand personality, and things that, help them, that they have defined, that help them connect with a certain audience. Are you exciting and futuristic like Tesla? Are you rugged like Harley Davidson? Or competent and prioritizing safety like Volvo? All those things come from words and feelings that kind of are at the center point, right, of what that company does and what they're trying to convey. So I have a list of questions for you, and we've linked them below to help you kind of get started to figure out what it is that your brand is. But I will leave you with this, which is the favorite question that we ask all of our clients. And that is, what is it that differentiates you from someone right next door selling the exact same thing? And usually the answer that we get is something about, oh, well, our customer service is better, or our professionalism, or we sell the best of, XYZ. But rarely do we hear someone, especially for a local business, right, and a small business, which is who we work with, rarely do we hear someone talk about their own personality or their own reason, their own why for starting this business in the first place. And oftentimes in there somewhere is what your brand really means and stands for, and what customers ultimately are connecting with. If you can do the work, it is work. It's not easy, but anyone can do it. And if you can do the work and you do it at the beginning of your business, and you find what that thing is and how to communicate that through these branding assets and through the way that you're communicating your brand, you are, not only off to a great start, but you will be successful for the long run. So if you need any help, we'd love to help you. But please do the work, and I'm glad you're on your way.